On this beautiful Saturday morning, and with a huge smile on my face, I welcome you to a new edition of Hotsports this Saturday morning. Welcome. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and interestingly, guys, last week was a beautiful, beautiful weekend of sports, loaded activities, and now we're about to continue in this unending football tale. And of course, we are happy to have you join us. And so as well, my happiness, of course, extends to my gentlemen in the studio this very beautiful Saturday morning. I've got Odabi Precious. So Odabi, good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be in the studio with you, and it's been a great day so far.
So far, so good. Early morning, of course, early morning this morning as well is Tunde Lawal. Tunde, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Thanks for the privilege of being here.
Absolutely. We take that privilege all day, every day, and even on Saturdays like this one. Guys, so let's go for a quick break. And when we return, it's all about the juicy story that we've got lined up for you this morning. You don't want to miss this one.
Hey, Adu.
Hey, Dad.
Look, I got something for you.
A football chassis?
Hey, Adu. Come watch a game with your uncle and I.
I'm okay, thanks.
So, Daddy, you showed those blues pepper yesterday, right?
We sure did.
Those 3 points are sure for us today. Game's about to start. Quickly.
Follow Hotsports on social media. We are at Hotsports NG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You're welcome back to the show this beautiful Saturday morning, and we thank you very much. You guys are still very much in the studios. Odabi Precious and Tunde Lawal. So let's go straight to our first topic of discussion. Guys, let's talk about what happened, during the course of a couple of weeks ago in the MPFL. We saw a game between Plateau United and Atlant, and that story saw a particular referee being beaten to pulp. Now, we've hammered it time and time again, so thank you very much, LMC, for watching the show and listening exclusively to what we've been saying on the show so far. The fact that they need to come down heavy. And guys, let's just break this down. 3 points have been deducted, will be deducted from Atlant's, total points so far. And they've got what now, 1 million naira to pay as fine for encroachment, another 500,000 for failing to restrict their fans, 1 million on assault on officials, 1.2 million as compensations to the match officials, another 500,000 for failing to issue match day tickets, and 1 million for issuing statements to the public. And of course, Plateau United are also not left out of this. They've got 1 million, fine for what now? For placing or issuing public statements as a result of that particular game. Mobi Oparako, the coach of Atlant, also will be suspended for 10 matches. Guys, these are the kind of measures we want to see. Let me start with you, Tunde.
Well, it's a welcome development because I think for about 2 weeks now that the incident happened, we've actually not seen them come up as in with any form of statement or any form of punishment for this kind of attitude.
Coming to you, Precious. Let's see how this a lot of fines affect Atlant going forward. They are bottom of the table, 15 points. You deduct 3.15, that's 12. And they're playing this weekend, they're playing Kano Pillars. What's the makeup? What do you think should be the makeup of their mindset at the moment?
I think right now the makeup of their mindset right now will be not to lose. So since they are home, all they ought to be striving for will be at least not losing because they need a point, they need a win. So I think the mindset of the players will be not to lose and to get out of the game unscathed. Especially
when you could look at the fact that they're actually bottom of the table, and that right now is a huge fixture, for them. Of course, looking at the screen right now, you'd see a confirmation of the games this particular weekend. So why not, just throw to any of these match centers around you and have fun watching game of football. Aqua United will host Enyimba, and Lobby Stars will play Sunshine. But today, Lobby Stars and Sunshine, it's a tale of different half. One team top of the pile, another team struggling to find its feet.
Yeah, well, it's been quite difficult for Sunshine Stars of Akure. If you remember, they hired Dukudi, I think the previous season. Then he left them, I think, due to negotiations that actually didn't go down his way. But I think for Lobby Stars, they've done well for themselves. They're actually top of the log, even though the teams behind them, I think in third and fourth position, have about some games in hand also. But for Lobby Stars, they've done well. And for Sunshine, as in they played at home, I think against Lobby, the previous round, they played out a 1-1 draw. And going to Makurdi against Lobby Stars, and we know how things go in the MPFL. We normally have more home wins than away wins. So I think Lobby might actually pick up the 3 points in this game.
All right, so definitely the thought for Sunshine Stars is that a lot of sunshine would come upon them, decently, because they've actually not been in the very best of moods. Well, speaking of best of moods, we were treated to an amazing football spectacle, guys. The UEFA Champions League, the semi-finals, first and second leg done and dusted. Now we've confirmed the finalists. Now, guys, let's talk about this game one after the other. I'll start with you, or that'd be Precious. Let's talk about Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Real Madrid at some point in the game against Bayern Munich were not their totally commanding self, but they just did good enough to get across the line.
Yeah, they were. I think the experience played a major factor in it. I mean, they are Real Madrid. They are synonymous with Champions League football. And I think that experience and know-how of each players, they knew they necessarily did not have to win the match. I think they did a brilliant job. I think they played according to script. I think the coach Zidane had every intention. He forecasted the match and knew how it was going to play out, and he set the team to do exactly what they did, and they performed spectacularly well.
All right, so that's it for Real Madrid. Of course, now they are in their third consecutive final at the Champions League. Like you said, they're synonymous to Champions League. Let's come to you now. Real Madrid already in the final, but Liverpool, what a season they've put together. Now they are at the finals against Roma, against the Liverpool, were always going to be second fiddle, but they almost came close, 4-2.
Yeah, they almost did. And I think Liverpool will be thanking their stars, actually, that they were able to score 5 at home in Anfield. Because if not, I think they could have lost out on this one, because even some of the Roma fans were bemoaning, I think, about 2 penalties or so that maybe they should have been awarded, and some offside calls also that were controversial. But I think all in all, Liverpool, they deserve to be in the final. The stellar season that Salah has had, and Klopp also saying that it has been their dream, childhood dream, most of these players making it to the Champions League final, and Liverpool, a big club as they are, has not making it to the final in the last 10 years. So it's going to be a very good spectacle.
Remember that 13 goals were scored between Real Madrid, by the AS Roma and Liverpool in both legs, and that's the highest, scoring knockout game ever in the history of the Champions League. It's actually, it's a particular game actually saw 13 goals, good enough to see some teams score in all their Champions League journeys.
Hi, my name is Manish Rothgi. I am a business head for Simba Group, TVS Nigeria. Simba Group is there in this country for last 30 years. We are majorly dealing with the transportation and power inverters. We generally give opportunity to lot of Nigerian people to employment, and we do lot of mechanic trainings, and we do lot of employment generation opportunity for the people. TVS Nigeria and Simba Group is very thankful to NFF and Hotsports for bringing up this tie-up, signing up of this agreement between TVS Nigeria and NFF at the time when the football team is going to World Cup. We wish good luck to the Nigerian football team, Super Eagles, and we hope TVS and Super Eagle are going to drive Nigeria forward.
As part of its effort to actively drive engagement and the promotion of Nigerian football at grassroots level, the Nigerian Football Federation earlier in the week signed a 2-year sponsorship agreement with the Simba Group, making TVS the official motorcycle and tricycle partner of the Super Eagles.
Today's gathering is to consummate yet another union with the Nigerian Football Federation on partnering our esteemed national football team, the Super Eagles. This is a giant responsibility, specifically on as we approach the commencement of the Russia 2018 World Cup. We are convinced that this marriage between Nigerian #1 team and Nigerian's market leader in the tricycle industry is a relationship destined for greatness, as both have the capacity to be winners in their respective area of dominions for a long time. We are confident that the Super Eagle will ride on the crest of this latest support to bring us joy at the World Cup. We thank the NFF for the opportunity to be part of history, and we wish the Super Eagle and the handler good tidings for the Mondial.
NFF Second Vice President and LMC Chairman Shehu Diko, representing the NFF President, Mr. Amaju Pinnick, at the signing ceremony, explained that the 2-year agreement would ideally fit into the frame of the present NFF administration's commitment. Diko also noted that the union was in line with the vision of the present NFF team to bring on board partners from critical sectors whose activity can impact positively on the programs and activities of the federation and those of the various national teams.
Basically, what we are going to sign today is a 2-year partnership to make the TVS tricycle and motorcycle official partners of the Super Eagles. And what we are looking at for them to do is to do a lot of activation, a lot of drive to drive this brand across board. And by doing that also, they too will drive their products, because people now will encourage our families, our relations, or whatever, anywhere they are, that you have to patronize. If you love football and you love the Super Eagles, you have to patronize the TBS products, because that's what the partnership is all about. And they too have to work to make sure they give the best products, where people will be happy, to patronize the products, and they believe that that is what Super Eagles are all about passion, about quality, about being the best.
NFF General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi commended the Simba Group for seeing a window of opportunity whereby they could partner with the Nigerian Football Federation.
On behalf of the Nigeria Football Federation, I would want to say thank you and thank you to everybody here. But specifically, I would want to single out Simba Group and to say a very big thank you for associating with Nigeria Football Federation and of course Super Eagles as a brand.
Mr. Elad Sheikh, the marketing manager of the Simba Group, was accompanied by other members of the Simba Group management, including Amit Sheikh, Sandeep Rana, Swarinder Pal Singh, Ravi Kumar, and Afuye Olushola. Let's talk some athletics now, and the story about the IAAF making a controversial ruling as regards the testosterone level. Did I get that correctly? Testosterone level is quite a mouthful in women, and especially this particular rule will come into effect on November the 1st. And they set up the committee, and we've been seeing prominent people back up from this committee, and a lot of people saying that this particular ruling is to attack Caster Semenya. And because the truth is, if anything should probably go not according to her plan, is either she drops from being, a woman and, changing her sex, or possibly changing the distance in which she runs into 5,000 and 10,000. What do you make of this? Let me start with Precious.
Actually, I think it's all indication points that it's a direct, the ruling is a direct one to Caster Semenya, because you can't just ignore the fact that this ruling affects the two categories in which she dominates in, the 800 meter and the 1,500 meter. So lots of prominent sportsmen, they have put in their views about how this ruling is infringing on their the females' fundamental human rights. It's not been, it's something that will take in effect late this year, November to be exact. So let's see what happens. The indication we are getting from her is that she's being bullish about it, like she can't change who she is, that God created her that way. So let's see how this story will pan out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, tennis legend Martina Navratilova has come out to say it's a sexist comment, and of course racial and a bit of homophobic. Of course, that's the thought at the moment. Let's see how these things pan out, just like Odabi Pressure said. Tune, let's talk about your Pepe race, the 10 kilometers. You're not going to be participating, I'm sure.
Definitely not.
None of the guys will be participating. I'm not going to be participating, but a lot of Nigerians would also look at the possibility of participating in this 10-kilometer race holding in Auchi, and it's always a money spinner. But yes, that aside, Tunde, but let's talk about a particular niggling issue. What has happened to the death of Nigerians runners, long distance runners. Yes, it has never really been our forte, but unfortunately, even the regular sprinting is actually up to no scratch these days.
It's been a niggling issue because since the time of them, the Adenekons, the Olapades, we've not really had someone, the Deji Alius, we've not had any other person. And you remember, what's her name now? Blessing Okagbari.
Yes, please.
Just had a recent issue with the Athletics Federation where she complained about neglecting her when she had injuries and stuff like that. So I think we actually need to go back to whatever it is we were doing well at that time that were produced. I think from the secondary schools we were getting a lot of runners, a lot of athletes coming through from the secondary schools, which are no longer there. I think we actually need to go back to the roots.
Exactly. I'm happy you didn't say go back to the drawing board because there's a lot of drawing board everywhere these days anyway. So yes, of course, Opepe's race, this is a 10-kilometer race. It will be happening in Auchi in Edo State. And guess what? It's a jaw-dropping $20,000 for the winners. Of course, the winners from 2017, Leo Gabriel Celes and Gabru Aseme winning the female category. Of course, that one was in, of course, Edo. That's like I said earlier. All right, so moving on finally to the home stretch and the business end of the show. We'll go for a quick break and be right back for the topic of discussion on Hotsports this morning.
Follow Hotsports on social media. We are at Hotsports NG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino has been a man of reforms and yes, is again thinking about proposing a new mini World Cup that would see 8 teams, international teams, take part in a particular tournament, a final 8 tournament like he's like to call it, and would see these teams play football in addition to the traditional event of the World Cup. The guys are ready in the studios and they're ready to go. Odabi Precious thinks it's a huge distraction and of course it will water down international football one way or another. Well, Tunde Lawal sees it as a welcome development. So guys, the floor is yours. Odabi Precious, let's start with you.
We have to look at this from the player's perspective because more matches means more possibility of getting injured, more possibilities of burnout, and a player needs to be at optimal level when performing, and this competition will definitely affect those players. And I don't want to see it as the FIFA World Cup losing its like
value,
mega value. Exactly.
I would like to start from where he stopped, because he said it might be a distraction, and most of these nations already have their tournaments, the African Nations Cup, the European Cup, and other stuff like that. But I think the FIFA president has actually made this, give clarity about this, that events will run parallel to all these other tournaments, which means they will not coincide. It wouldn't be in the same year where the African Nations Cup or the Euros are held. I think it's a welcome development for me, because we had the VAR that's been flagged off, and we also had 32 teams becoming 48 teams. It's a good reform for football.
And you think, guys, let's start from this, guys. So this is where I'm expecting a little bit of issues. A lot of people say it's criticizing FIFA for overcomplicating international football, and it's going to devalue the World Cup, like you were saying.
I don't understand what people mean by devaluing the World Cup that is already existent, because we've had a lot of reforms in football, and we've seen that over time these reforms have actually been good, and they've brought new dimensions to football. We remember there was a point in time that we had 3 European competitions, the Champions League, we had the UEFA Cup, as it was called then, we had the Cup Winners' Cup. But at a point in time, they felt that they should merge the other two tournaments, which now became the UEFA Cup. And right now, we've seen so many teams go through the Europa League to the Champions League for this new reform. It's a good one, actually. It's a welcome development. And if you consider the money involved, $25 billion, they already have, like Infantino said, they already have a group of sponsors that are ready to pump in $25 billion.
Precious, I think this is a problem.
It will help a lot of
football
the continents.
Football is not every time about the money, but then it's looking as if FIFA is allowing the money issues to probably override the interest of the football itself.
Actually, I think in that aspect, I think FIFA has they clearly stated that the the money generated from the competition won't necessarily be coming to them, that it will be shared between all participating teams. So I think in that aspect, they have that one right. But the reason why I'm staunchly against it is because I'm arguing from the player perspective. Because if it's from actually the financial perspective, I think the competition is a welcome development, a welcome addition.
I think money is just the name of the game.
Exactly.
Business. You know?
All right, so guys, of course, the guys thinking it's a good one there. Tunde says it's actually good thoughts that FIFA are trying to reform this particular move. Meanwhile, Odabi Precious absolutely disagrees. All right, so what do you think? How about you hit us up on our social media platforms as well as at www.hotsporttv.com. Then, of course, if you're feeling lucky, do well to send us a text message on the phone numbers on your screen. We'll be looking forward to hearing your thoughts. We'll go for a final break on the show. When we return, it's a wrap on Hotsports.
Follow Hotsports on social media. We are at Hotsports NG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We're done and dusted with all there is to talk about today on Hotsport. Guys, we want to thank you very much for coming this beautiful Saturday morning. Tunde Lawa.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
As the two guys made their debut today, and his strike partner was Odabi Precious, scoring tons of goals. How does that make you feel, man?
It's something. It's a welcome event. It's an experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a good experience
It's a
after
good
all.
experience.
All right, guys. The good experience we want you to enjoy this particular week, of course, is to go to the various places, the various match centers of the Nigerian Professional Football League, and enjoy yourself. From all of us here in Hotspot TV, it is bye for now, and have a beautiful weekend.
Hello.